I'm James S. Cassidy, and I thought I was going to be done with this shit, but due to recent events and people asking me to give my views on such an occurrence that are happening recently, I guess I'm doing this for them, and I'm going to do this to maybe talk some sense into people one last time. Naruto fans, I know you're listening to me. I know that you're listening to every word I say, and you're thinking, wow, this guy is so pathetic. Wow, he's so salty. Wow, he's so butthurt. You know what? I'm not going to insult you for it. I'm not going to do that anymore. You know why? Because I believe that we can be better human beings, okay? So, just this once, if only as a favor, just this once, if there's any shred of humanity inside of you, just listen. Really listen. Okay? Throw away the parent goggles, because that's what I'm doing right now. Just throw away the parent goggles. Because I want to talk to you about something from one Naruto fan to another. From one Naruto fan who's been reading this manga for years and years and years, to another fan who probably has also been reading this manga for years and years and years. Now, I'm going to go on a long rant about a few things, so if you really don't want to listen to what I have to say, please turn the video off now and go do something else more productive with your life. Okay? Other than that, I will be respectful and I will try to explain everything as best I possibly can, because there's a lot to cover. But there is a reason why this ending, this movie, and everything that has been involved in the past 2 months has been complete and utter garbage, and most of the Naruto fandom agrees. The real Naruto fans know and see the bullshit that's conspiring for the past 2 months. Okay? And even in the past week, we've gotten more bullshit than anything else. So, just this once, just sit down, throw away the parents, because this is no longer about the pairings. No. Now, there are no pairing wars. There's nothing. It's only the difference between the fans that don't accept this ending and the fans that do. If you are a fan that accepts this ending, and you are still listening to me right now, I want you to understand why me and many other fans do not accept this ending. It's not because we are not good fans. It's not because we're not real fans. It's because we are fans. Because we did love this series is the reason why we are upset with this ending. I want you to understand this. It's because we love Naruto so much is the reason why I feel this is an unjustified ending, and why we all have been insulted. No matter what pairing choice you are, we all lost. The fandom lost, and we were insulted by the creators and the writer and everybody else from the official studios over this. Okay? We are made to look stupid in front of them because they refuse to admit that they fucked up. It's true. They refuse to admit that they fucked up, so instead of trying to take the blame or trying to say, hey, yeah, we kind of didn't do anything right, they rather blame us, the fandom, for not reading correctly. Well, the fandom is not taking too kindly to it. And believe me, they're not. You know they're not, because right now in Japan, even though the movie comes out, in a few hours, or today even, by the time I post this, the seats are empty. People have taken, a lot of Naruto fans have taken back their tickets and asked for refunds. And you can see it when the theaters are no longer sold out like they used to be. The seats are empty. A good 80% of those tickets have been returned because they do not appreciate this movie. They don't think it's really Naruto they are watching. This is nothing more than pairing movie. That's it. Now, a lot of you Naruto fans keep saying that this manga was never about the romance. Well, guess what? They turned it into nothing but the romance, and that's why this sucks. You're right. It wasn't supposed to be about the romance. It wasn't supposed to be about the pairings. But because I decided to focus only on said pairings instead of saying a good storytelling or a good, well-written story, they fucked it up. Okay? I want you to understand that it's because they turned it into a pairing wars, or a shoujo as some people called it, or just completely disregard everything that this manga stood for simply to suit a pairing choice, means that the whole reason why this fucked up is because the studios and the writers themselves decided to reduce the Naruto story to nothing more than a cheap fucking romance story that doesn't even make sense. It has no continuity, and it downright insults everything that this manga has been setting up for 15 years. Now, keep in mind, Kishimoto has had a long time to write this story. He could have written it any way he wanted to. Any way he wanted to. There is no excuse for any of this. There isn't. There is no excuse why he didn't give more things or he didn't write it a certain way, okay? There is no excuse. It's not like he had a deadline to meet to write these things. There is no excuse for any of it. And right now, all Kishimoto is doing is damage control and lying and saying things to his face, even contradicting himself like as little as a week. He says one thing one week and then the next week it's something completely different, but we'll get into that one later. But first, I want to talk about the characters themselves first. This is what the movie has done, this Naruto the Last movie. So, first we're going to talk about Naruto, the hero, or supposedly the main character, because that's his name is on the manga. Well, apparently he's no longer the main character anymore, because it's all about Hinata. That's right, I said it. It's all about Hinata, and everybody knows it. Okay? Everybody knows that Naruto has been reduced to nothing more than a pairing fodder or some man whore for Hinata and her sick, childish fantasies. And there's no denying any of it, okay? You are lying to yourself if you think there was anything more than this, okay? And I'm sorry to say, but you are. It really means that you are the ones that are blinded by the pairings if you don't think this is a problem. Because it is. Okay? Because it is reduced to that much. That stupidity and cheapness of characters is the reason why you are blinded by it. But anyway, let's look at Naruto, the main character. Now, start reading the manga, you look at Naruto, and he was a kid growing up. He had a crush on Sakura, right? He had a crush on Sakura. He had a rivalry with Sasuke. He was hated by everybody, so he wanted people to notice him. He wanted to be loved. He had no family. He wanted a family, and all this other stuff. He tried to teach people about being true to yourself. He tried to teach people about, not going against your ninja way. He tried to teach people to look at the good in people, but, and he tried so hard to be the good guy that he is today. You know what this last movie does? All those things you know Naruto for are now complete and utter bullshit. So instead of this hero that never gives up, that it always sees the best in people, that always sees all this, now, well, apparently everything that he's ever done was not because he's that great person, but because he had a deep and serious rivalry with Sasuke to the point that he doesn't really see Sasuke as a brother. He completely lied throughout the whole thing. Now, the only reason why he even cares about anybody besides himself is because he wanted something that someone else had. I am not kidding. That is what Naruto has been reduced to. A selfish, envious, jealous piece of crap character that apparently is so shallow he makes Sasuke look like a humanitarian for all the shit that he did. He makes Itachi look like a humanitarian, despite him doing a massive Uchiha massacre, even though it's kind of a little gray area, but you get my point. He makes Obito look like a humanitarian. Okay? Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, but, Naruto completed some of his dreams, and he did exactly what he wanted. No, okay, no. One, Naruto said he wanted to achieve peace. He did no such thing. He has never achieved any peace for anybody. He's never achieved anything. He's never achieved peace within the ninja world because he didn't do anything to achieve that peace. It was all Madara and Obito who did it. Yes, you heard me right. Madara and Obito were the ones to achieve the peace because they created the ultimate enemy. Him versus the world. And when everybody saw how they could work together to fight a common enemy, apparently people stuck with it. They thought to themselves, hey, this is how peace is really achieved. We're not so different. We have the same views. And even though we tried to kill each other in the past, maybe we can let bygones be bygones because we're working together now to fight a common enemy. Even Sasuke brought this up, if you remember, in the final chapters. He's like, well, this is only a temporary peace, and eventually they'll find something else to fight over about. Apparently Sasuke was wrong, because after this, there are no more conflicts. There's nothing. Naruto didn't achieve peace. All you see him doing is walking into the Kage conference room, and you don't see anything to imply that there were rough spots here and there that they had to iron out, that Naruto had to, go above and beyond the call of duty to try to achieve this peace with other people. There's nothing showing any of that. He just walks into a room, smiles, and everyone's like, oh, well, peace is achieved, ah ha ha. No, he didn't. And you expect me to believe that he did something to achieve that peace? No. And what's worse is that Naruto is even more of a douchebag now, because apparently all those moments that he's had with Sakura, they're all a complete lie. All those moments he's had with Hinata, he had no fucking clue what they were about. That famous pain save that the Narahina fanbase loves so much and think is such a great moment, guess what? It's been downplayed. Naruto saw Hinata saying, oh, I love you, Naruto, as something similar to him loving ramen. I'm not fucking kidding. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. I have a little bit more respect than that for Hinata to say that that wasn't a moment for her. That wasn't something special between her and Naruto. Even if my views on whether or not she saved him or not are skewed. But still, I still saw that as a good moment. Even 6:15 I saw was an okay moment for Naruto and Hinata. For a chance to them to get closer. But apparently all those scenes mean nothing because Naruto was just too stupid, too blind, too into himself to even see any of that. Okay? And keep in mind, this is all within the last movie. This is I'm not making this shit up. This is how they're describing 698 chapters of Naruto not noticing Hinata, Naruto always focusing on Sakura, Naruto always focusing on Sasuke, who, by the way, he's screwed over as well, but I'll get to that one. Everything, 698 chapters are a complete and total lie. So, Naruto, when you say that you hate people that lie to themselves, well, guess what? You lied to yourself, you lied to your father, you lied to your mother, you lied to your friends, the people who actually did care about you, you lied to everybody. You lied to every single person now. You are no better a person now. In fact, you are the worst scumbag in this entire story. Because apparently the only way that you love and care about something is if somebody else has it. That's it. That's your entire premise now. So good job, Naruto. You have officially become the biggest douchebag in the entire story. Now, I don't want to believe that. I really wanted to believe that Naruto was a kind-hearted person that just had rough patches here and there, but apparently I'm wrong, because apparently I misread it. I apparently misread everything in this manga, and here Naruto was a douchebag the whole entire complete time. So yes, Naruto has been ruined. The main character of a manga has been ruined for a pairing choice. But that isn't the beginning there. We're gonna keep going. Now Sakura. this is really hard for me because I actually liked Sakura as a character for a while, and believe me, I know a lot of people did too. You Narahina fans, I know Narahina fans hated her, but, I think the hate was more about jealousy over, because she's getting all Naruto's attention. Whatever, and, I even hate the fact that she fangirled Sasuke too, so even though she's my favorite, I still have problems with her. But with that being said, she was flawed for a reason. That's why I liked her, because she wasn't a Mary Sue, that she did have problems that she needed to overcome. However, the fact that all that development just gets thrown out the window and not even giving a shit is horrible. It is the worst character assassination I have ever seen, ever, okay? And I've read a lot of manga and anime. A lot of people keep telling me that they keep telling me I misread this manga all the time. I want you to understand something. I have read a lot of manga and I have watched a lot of anime in my time. This is the only story where apparently I quote-unquote misread it. Okay? This is the only story. Every other story or show that I've watched, I've never had a problem understanding or reading it. Okay? And no, my OTP does not blind me from the facts, okay? Because I had other OTP and other manga that did not become canon, and I was okay with it. Take example, look at Fruits Basket. I was a Toru and Yuki fan. That was my OTP. But I knew for a fact that it was never going to happen. That Toru and Yuki were never going to happen, okay? I knew that. I knew it. Why? Because I knew from the beginning that Toru was in love with Kyo. It was obvious. It was that obvious. So it came as no surprise to me. Am I a little disappointed about it? Yeah, whatever. But at least it was but at least I could see it, so it wasn't a disappointment. It wasn't a huge disappointment like I have with this one. But I could tell it. The development was there. And this is to the contrary to Naruto series, where the development was one way, and now all of a sudden in the past 2 months, people are saying, well, you misread it wrong, it was the other way. What? 15 years of story writing? You're going to tell me that it was all bullshit? Really? And that it was my fault because you didn't write it right? Give me a break. See, that is an author just trying to save face. But anyway, I'm going off tangent here. So Sakura. Now, originally I saw Sakura as a flawed girl that had potential and that she probably could have went places, I wanted her to go much farther than anything else, and I loved her. I love those kind of characters as she is, because she's not. Because the more realistic is that people are flawed. They're not Mary Sues. They're not perfect. They have bad things about them, and they know they have bad things about them that they're trying to improve. And I saw this in Sakura, and that's what made me love her more, was the fact that she tried to improve. But what did this Naruto the last movie do? Nope. She's always been that fangirl, and she tells Naruto, oh, well, you only love me because of the rivalry with Sasuke. No. No. Okay? You remember the scene when Sai came up to Sakura and says, even I can tell that Naruto is in love with you? Oh, well, I guess he's full of shit too, right? I guess he didn't know anything, am I correct? That fake smile of not trusting Sasuke, I guess that was all bullshit. But you know what? I don't blame Sakura for it. Again, I'm blaming Kishimoto for this, because he's trying to save face now. Because he knows this movie doesn't make much fucking sense. He knows it's all crap and bullshit. That's why he's saying all this stuff now. Okay? And you bring up this fact. Yes, Sakura's saying this fact, but Kishi, did you not just say last week that for a long time you didn't know which parent you wanted to go with until only recently, right? Didn't you say there was a long debate between who should Naruto end up with? But now you're saying that Narahina was picked ever since the beginning? Huh? You even saying in interviews that Hinata was your favorite character, even though there's another interview where you say that Anko was your favorite character? Huh? I mean, really? I can't be the only one noticing these things, okay? I can't be the only one. I know there are many people out there who notice these things. So Sakura gets ruined because of that. Now Sakura is nothing more than pairing fodder. All the development that she has, all those powers that she gained, all the hard work, nothing. She's nothing more than a pairing fodder now. All the girls have been reduced to nothing more than a pairing fodder. Oh, and by the way, Kishimoto says that Sakura would have been a terrible woman if she gave up on Sasuke and went out with Naruto and stole him from Hinata. Well, one, Naruto didn't belong to Hinata in the first place, okay? You don't own people unless that's slavery, but this is not the case with this one. Hinata didn't own Naruto, so it wasn't like they weren't married or had kids then, so there was nothing to steal from. It's not stealing. There's no stealing whatsoever, so I have no clue what that's all about. And two, what does that make Karen and Ino and all the other girls that were in love with Sasuke, huh? Were their feelings not genuine now, apparently? They were just lying to themselves now? Well, I guess that Ino is a terrible man. I guess Ino is a terrible woman now. I guess she's the worst of the worst. She's nothing but a whore now, I guess. So I'm sorry, all you Ino fans out there, if you thought that she was so great. Kishimoto was calling her a terrible woman because she gave up on her love for Sasuke. Yup. She's a terrible fucking woman. And it goes even deeper still. So, if this applies to women, what about men? What about men that, fell in love with a couple of, what about Naruto who fell in love with Sakura? Oh, well, I guess he's a terrible man now because he gave up his first love for her, Oh, but it's all a lie, right? It was all misread? Yeah, right. So again, Sakura, ruined. The third main character, Sasuke. Now, the entire story was all about Sasuke, basically. It was Naruto chasing after Sasuke, Sakura chasing after Sasuke, and the whole story of trying to get Team 7 back together. Which, by the way, the whole story was about bonds, okay? The friendships, the bonds that you share with people, the connections that you have with them, which apparently is all bullshit now, because now the movie has been reduced to nothing more than, well, the only bond that really fucking matters is your first love, which apparently Naruto's first love is now Hinata, because apparently he never actually really loved Sakura, and blah 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 blah, and now they share a first kiss on the moon, and blah 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 blah, and this gets even more complicated, but still, so now you got this, so now you got Sasuke and his bonds and everything like that. Now, when you first read Sasuke, you saw someone who was kind of a broken person. He was a character who was in a lot of pain, and he was traveling down a dark path. He was a little bit more complicated. Now, I said a lot of bad things about Sasuke over the years, and I'm going to say this right now. I extremely apologize for this now, because after seeing this bullshit, after seeing what they're doing in the last movie, Sasuke's entire story arc is a breath of fresh air now. Okay? It's well written now compared to it. But anyway, Sasuke, he was a complicated kid who had complicated goals. I mean, he says he didn't care about anybody. He says he doesn't really give a shit about anybody but himself and all these other things. And he kept up that whole viewpoint for a long time. And I mean, a long time. It was only up until, the last 3 chapters did he ever really change anything or change his ways about people. But still, he attempted to murder people, he attempted to do this, and attempted to do that, and he was okay. He had Karen by his side, Team 7 and Team Taka by his side, and they all cared about him. But now, apparently, Team Taka has been written off the scene now, because apparently, I think there was a rumor going around that Karen and Juga are going to die for Sasusaku. Yeah. Give me a fucking break. No. Now you're reducing you're taking even more characters and conveniently writing them out for a pairing choice. Okay? Do you see where I'm going from with this? You're reducing every fucking character who ever mattered in this story for a fucking pairing choice. Okay? So you want to talk about me being salty because I only cared about Naruto for pairings? No. I cared about Naruto for the story and for the deep, intricate characters. And it's Kishimoto and the fucking studio that reduced it down to nothing but pairings. And it is a crying shame. But Sasuke, what is he like in the movie? Well, who was he originally? Naruto's best friend, right? Nope, not anymore. No, now he's not even in the movie at all, and Naruto just doesn't give a shit. He doesn't even see him at all. I'm not kidding. You never, after the manga is over, you never see Naruto and Sasuke interact ever again. Ever. He makes people have spoiled the movie and says that he only maybe makes an appearance for like 10 fucking minutes. He says like one line, almost like 1 or 10 lines of dialogue. Doesn't do anything really relevant to the story at all, and he just barely shows up and then disappears without a flash, without meeting Naruto whatsoever, not telling Naruto about anything that happens at all into the story, and now he's nothing. His relevance has become one of in the manga. His relevance was the most important. Now he might as well just not even be there. He might as well not even exist at all, and if that's the case, because that's how relevant he's become. His character has been reduced. He used to have a weird character arc and a weird, and was highly relevant to everything. Now he has no relevance and no personality. Nothing. He's the most important one of the most important characters in the series. And he's no longer given. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. Okay? Now, you all read the story. You all know how important Sasuke is to Naruto. I wonder why they've written him out, because I bet you $10 right now that if Sasuke was in the picture, Naruto wouldn't give two shits about Hinata. So that's how you do it. And not only that, but this movie is going to sever the bonds between Team 7, Naruto and Team 7, and Naruto and Sakura, and Naruto and Sasuke. It severs it completely. One of the most important aspects of the story, it severs it. Okay? Again, it's betraying the very structure of the manga we've been reading for years on end. Okay? All for a lousy fucking pairing. Okay? Now, what else do we got? We got Hinata, who went from very little importance to the main fucking character in the story. And I say that, the main fucking character in the story, because she is. This isn't Naruto the last. This is Hinata the last. She is the main fucking character of the story. She's the one that gets kidnapped. She's the one that fights. She's the one that gains all these powers. She's the one that has this. The entire story revolves around her. It revolves around her. What she wants, what she gets, what happens to her, everything. Naruto, he's nothing more than Hinata's bitch. That's it. He's merely the guy that goes in, saves her, and then she becomes, the grateful heroine that gets everything in the end. Yeah, right. Give me a fucking break. You want me to believe that Hinata is all of a sudden that much fucking important, okay? This movie is that fucking cheap. Hinata barely had a relevance at all in the story. She had moments, I'm not going to say she didn't, but she barely had any relevance whatsoever. And Naruto really didn't notice her until late into the game. Yeah, he noticed her early on, but he didn't really notice her until late into the game. But anyway, now all of a sudden, she's the main focus, and now we have this cheap villain who's never mentioned at all, who never came into existence until this movie. We get these flashbacks with her and Naruto that never existed before and never will exist outside this movie. We're getting all these story elements that have never existed before whatsoever, never hinted at, nothing in the manga whatsoever. We have, 90% of this movie is bullshit, is made up just for this movie, for this pairing choice. That's it. Everything else is complete, it never makes a mention. Nothing. You read the manga, you can't tell where this shows up. Okay, now all of a sudden Hinata is some great descendant of Kaguya or something like that, and she gets powers from Hamura, or she's descendant of Hamura, and stuff like that, and all of a sudden now she gains all these powers and stuff like that. Kind of funny how Kaguya never brings this up. She was so focused with the Uchihas and the Senju and stuff like that. I thought it was them that was the most important, the two brothers, but apparently not. Apparently Hinata now plays a significant role to where she is this great, descendant of this great power. And I thought it was bullshit with Naruto and Sasuke. Now we have it a triple time. We have Hinata gaining all these powers for no reason at all. Because apparently she's a descendant, and we have this villain, a 2-bit villain, who has probably the weakest story of anything for a reason to come in, and all of a sudden he just so happens to fall in love with Hinata. He just so happens to come in and steals her. He just so happens to be there and shows up and takes her, which, by the way, in this movie, according to the spoilers anyway, Naruto doesn't even notice fucking Hinata until after she gets kidnapped, not before. He doesn't even fucking realize his quote-unquote feelings for her until after she gets fucking kidnapped. What a cheap way out. What an absolute and that makes Naruto an even bigger douchebag, because now, so everything that happened from the manga and the 2-year time skip and everything like that, nothing happened? He didn't notice her at all? Naruto fans, why do you want Hinata to be with Naruto anyway? Huh? Don't you think Hinata would have deserved somebody better than a douchebag like Naruto now? Don't you think? I mean, I'm pretty sure you thought Naruto was a great guy, right? Well, now this movie's telling you that Naruto is not that great of a guy. He's not. He's a douchebag. I'm surprised you still want Hinata to be with him when she could have somebody better that actually did notice her, that actually did pay attention to her, that actually gave her, support and stuff like that. Okay? But no, Naruto never directly given Hinata support. She just so happened to be in the area, and she just so happened to spy on him and stuff like that, and she indirectly motivated her. Okay, he never did it on purpose. He never tried to motivate her on purpose or directly to her face. It just kind of happened. And you guys are okay with this? You're okay with Naruto being this douchebag that he only notices Hinata after she gets kidnapped, after she gets her mind wiped, after she's in trouble? That's it? That's all she's going to be noticed for, is when she's in trouble, Naruto will notice her? Well, that explains why he's a bad father in the future and he never wants to be home. Maybe Hinata should always be the damsel in distress. Otherwise, Naruto's never going to give her attention. Maybe? So Hinata gets ruined. And when I say ruined, I mean she gets ruined, okay? I wanted so much more for her. I did. I really did. As a Naruto fan, I wanted so much more for her. But again, this movie made me hate her even more. I didn't even... Actually, no, I take that back. It made me hate her. I didn't even hate her before. I thought she was okay. She had her own problems. I thought she was extremely annoying with the Naruto-cooning and stuff like that. But if there was ever something to make me hate her so goddamn much now, it's this movie. This movie has pushed me to hate her guts more than anything else, because now she has ruined every fucking character just to get her way. Ruined every fucking character. Every fucking character. And all of a sudden she's now part of Team 7 now, apparently. Great, right? Wow, she's a part of Team 7 now. So, wow, way to throw Shino and Kiba under the bus. Really great to say to them, fuck you guys. This is just... Oh, God, this is just so bad. And any real Naruto fan will notice this, okay? All the real Naruto fans know this. They see it. This isn't a good movie. It's not well written. It comes out of nowhere. Is the epiphany of ass pulls. I said in one video that it would take a major ass pull to make Naruhina and Sasuke canon. And I was right. It took this major ass pull. Okay? It's so bad that Twilight, the book Twilight, that everybody says is the worst love story ever written, is higher quality now to the people. They think Twilight is much better. Why? Because it has consistency. It has a written plot, even though it's a bit contrived at times. It has an okay ending, one that you expect. So there's consistency with it. And never once has the author tried to insult you or insult your intelligence with it. So even the worst writers in the world didn't do this bad or try to cover everything up in interviews or try to lie and say, well, maybe you just misread it. What? Which we'll get to that now. Well, recently, apparently, I didn't see the interview myself, but apparently Kishimoto says that, all the parallels, the Minato Kushina thing and everything like that, the girlfriend comments, the love scenes, we apparently all, quote unquote, misread it. We all misread it. Why can't you just admit that you fucked up, Kishi? So, here's an author that says, I can't write romance to save my life. I can't write it, I can't do it, I made some mistakes, and then says, well, I didn't fuck up. You just read it wrong. You, the fans, were the stupid ones. Okay, well, fuck you, Kishi. Okay? And a lot of people are like, we have to respect Kishimoto, we have to do... No. If an author has to insult his fans to try to save face, he deserves no respect. They deserve no respect for it. They don't. I'm sorry. Any respectable writer... J.K. Rowling, when discussing about... the pairings with Harry and Ginny, Harry and Hermione, Ron and Hermione. She even says in a few interviews, she's like, in hindsight, Harry and Hermione probably would have made a better couple, but I can't change that now. So, I'm sorry, I messed up, but, just bear with me. And people were like, okay, well, we understand that now. At least she admits it. At least she admits that she fucked up. I don't know. Because I wasn't part of the Harry Potter shipping fans or anything like that. But I'm guessing it's the same how we're feeling now. I guess. I don't know. I'm going to assume yes, but if that is the case, then yeah, at least J.K. Rowling was adult enough to say, yeah, I kind of fucked up. But I got, I did the ending the way I wanted to, and this is it, Kishimoto? No. Doesn't admit it. Doesn't say I fucked up. Doesn't say, oh, it was kind of forced. Doesn't say that, doesn't try to, admit his faults. No, he just says, it's your fucking fault, fanbase, because you didn't read it right. Well, Kishimoto, maybe you're just a bad fucking writer. Maybe you're probably the worst writer I have ever seen. Now, because apparently... you can't write it to save your life. I want to give you a piece of advice, Kishimoto. Writing romance is not that hard, okay? But here's the trick. The more subtle you make it, the more powerful it is, okay? If you make it too over the top and cheesy and stuff like that, it kind of becomes a Disney romance, as I would like to call it, where there's nothing wrong with Disney romance because, that's their thing, but... it's not exactly a realistic romance, okay? And that's the problem here. Narahina is a Disney romance now. It has become nothing more than a Disney romance. It just so happens everything just falls into place quite easily. And that was not the original intention of the manga. It was supposed to be something much deeper than that. It's supposed to have some huge meaning. And Kishimoto, you have no fucking excuse for the reason why you didn't set this up. Okay? You have no fucking excuse. You had all the time in the world to do everything that you could have done. Okay? How could you fuck it up this badly? How? How could you do it? I've seen some writers over the years. I've seen writers try many different things, try their hand at things, and, sometimes they're really good at it, sometimes they're not so good at it. But at least they tried. There are writers who tried to write romances, and they just couldn't do it. Their execution was off. But at least they tried, and they never tried to fool the reader with it. They never tried to throw, twists here and there to make it seem like, oh, it's all a lie, it's all a lie, it's all... No. Okay? There's a good and bad way to throw twists in there. Throwing a twist would be like, it appears to be one thing, but then in the background, you notice that something just isn't right. There's like one or two little details that don't match up right. And then you bring that up as a Chekhov's gun. Later on in the story where you think, oh, wait, this doesn't explain this, even though everything else does. So maybe something doesn't quite fit. I mean, look at, I'm going to bring up an example here. The Hey Arnold episode, where Eugene was, I think it was Eugene, he was accused of pulling the fire alarm, and then they go into this trial, like the schoolhouse trial, where they don't know where they wanted to figure out a punishment, and there's all this evidence that points to Eugene doing it, but Arnold was smart enough and notices a tiny detail that is actually really important, but nobody ever noticed it, was that with the pencil that they found at the scene of the crime was a Winky Land pencil from a theme park that Eugene likes to go to. However, Eugene was banned from said amusement park for causing trouble and stuff like that, because he's kind of a jinx. And Naruto notices this. He says, this doesn't make sense. How could he have this pencil when he's never been there at all in the past years? Who else could have had the pencil? And then you find out that the pencil actually belongs to somebody else. And that was the whole thing that led to the twist that it wasn't Eugene who did it. It was somebody who set him up. That is how you do a twist. And that was just a 30-minute cartoon. This is a story that's been written for 15 years. And you couldn't set that up? Really? You couldn't set that up in 15 years? You couldn't set any of it up? So you had to create this bullshit movie? And then you have to make excuses like, oh, you misread it, or, oh, I just wanted to be fair to the fans. It would be unfair if I didn't explain anything. Well, Kishi, you didn't explain anything. You didn't. All you're basically doing is trying to cover your ass with these lame-ass excuses that you just can't write away. You just can't make it all disappear like that. You can't. And the more you try to do it, the more you're shooting yourself in the foot. You really are. And I'm sorry, but this whole misread thing, no, I can't accept that. That's just too stupid. Okay. Let me apply this to real life on this one. Okay, Narahina fans, what gave you the idea that I was a Narasaku fan? What gave you the idea that, I was running a Narasaku podcast? What's that? My wallpapers? My titles of the video? Oh, you misread it. You misinterpreted everything. That was just a red herring. I'm actually a Narahina fan. Yup, I'm a true blood Narahina fan, and all those videos, that was just a red herring. You didn't understand it. You were the stupid ones that fell for it. Yeah. You see how that works? You see how much bullshit you're going to call me out on? That's the same thing here. It really is. It's the same exact thing. And any fan who believes this, you really are dumber than you look. I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but you are. You have to understand that this whole thing is a marketing trap. Okay? They knew that overseas, maybe not in Japan, but in overseas, Narahina was more popular. For whatever reason. I still don't understand, but for whatever reason. People have their reasons. But it wasn't really Narahina, it was more Hinata fan bases and stuff like that. So this says, how can we make more money? I got it. Let's make a whole movie based on nothing but Narahina. Let's give her the most cliche things let's make it all about Hinata, and let's make tons of Hinata merchandise and everything like that. Well, this is what you get. And they're hoping that you are stupid enough to fall for it. And some of you probably are. If you like this ending, if you think this movie was a great idea, you are nothing more than their butt puppet. And they're going to squeeze you for every dime that you have. So wake up. Don't accept this. Don't. Be respectful to yourself and don't accept this from them. And they're going to milk it and milk it and milk it until the day it dies. Okay? This is not storytelling. It isn't. It's not storytelling. And any real writer, any real person who can understand writing ethics knows that this is not how you write a story. It's not. And honestly, I lost faith in humanity for every single person that thinks this was okay. If you think that this is what true love really is, if you think that this was actually great writing, if you think that all of this was the greatest thing you've ever seen, the greatest love story you've ever read, I lost faith in humanity. I really did. It's no longer about the story itself. It's no longer just about, getting what I wanted or anything. No, that's trivial, that's shallow. No. This is about standards and writing practices. This insults me. I want to be a writer myself, okay? I want to write books that inspire people, and this insults me as a writer. It insults me as a fan. It insults me as a writer. It insults me as a human being. It insults me on so many levels beyond something as trivial or as shallow as a pairing war. Okay? It really does. And I'm hoping that you Narahina fans, if you have any shred of humanity in you, if you just throw away your pairing goggles for 1 second and just listen to what I have to say. For real. As one Naruto fan to another. Then maybe you can really understand why most of us do not like this ending. Okay? I really want you guys to understand. But if you're not going to understand, you're just going to keep calling me salty or butthurt, then maybe you are the ones that only give a shit about the pairings. Maybe you are the ones that only read this manga for the pairings, and yet you're accusing me of doing it. You're accusing other people of doing it. And as I said, I've read so many other stories, and I've watched so many other animes. I've never had a problem, ever, with reading it. Never. Never, ever had a problem. This is the only story that has ever made me question my reading comprehension with the story. And when I thought about it like that, it means that I wasn't wrong in what I was reading. Kishimoto was wrong in what he wrote and what he approved. There is no reason why he couldn't have developed Hinata or Narahina or Sasusaku better. There's no excuse. And I'm really, really sorry that I wasted so much time on this. I really am. But I still love Naruto, and I still love Sakura. And in my world, they did become canon. And they had a wonderful family together. Sasuke ended up with Karen because that's the one he confided everything into. And they had beautiful children themselves. And Sasuke became a good guy and was, actually was a true friend to Naruto now. Maybe supporting the Naruto and Sakura relationship. Hinata became the leader of her clan, became more respectable, actually made a difference than just being a pairing fodder over a boy that's nothing but a douchebag, and maybe she marries somebody else. Maybe she marries another Hyuga. Maybe she marries Kiba. Maybe she gets with somebody. I don't know. Does it really matter? To me, not really. As long as, because I want her to look at Naruto and say, even if he's not with me, I will always love him. And I just want him to be happy. Because that's what true love is. It's not about yourself or what you get. It's about letting the other person be happy with or without you. That is true love. That is real love. Okay? True love is about caring about someone more than you care about yourself. And some people will never understand that. I hope that my words, this long video, I hope I reach people on something, on a different level now. Because I want people to understand why I'm upset. Why a lot of people are upset with this ending. And believe me, it's not just here. It's not just on my podcast or anywhere else. It's all over the place. And in Japan, Naruto the Last is failing. Okay? It is failing as a movie because nobody wants to watch it. It's too much bullshit. It's too cheap. It's too much of an ass pull. And it's nothing but a stupid soap opera story where it just destroys characters, bonds, and all the moral stuff that Naruto has established. I mean, ask yourself this question. What did you think the moral of the story of Naruto was? What do you think the moral of the story is now? I thought the moral of the story was never give up, follow your dreams, hard work leads to great rewards, but apparently that's not the origin. That's not the moral of the story. So what's the meaning of the story now? If you were to tell the story, what's the meaning of it? What would it be? Always settle for second best? You don't know what true love is until your heart beats faster? Your true love is only based on rivalry or what you don't have? Come on. What is the moral of the story now? There is none. If there is a moral left to this story, it's not a good moral. It's not. So I hope, if any fan is listening to me now, if any fan has enough humanity in them to actually understand my words now, I want to thank you for listening. As for Naruhina fans that just want to hate, you know what? I'm not going to be angry at you guys anymore. Because you guys are just pathetic. You really are. And I'm not trying to say that as to insult you or make myself feel better. No, you guys really are that pathetic. Because you do not understand what you're doing. You're the ones reducing it down to nothing but pairing wars. Not us. Okay? We didn't make the petitions. We didn't do all this shit. No, we didn't do any of that. And everyone has a right to their opinion. Okay? Not just you. Anyway, thank you for listening this far. I know it's like an hour-long video, but there was a lot to cover, so I'm really sorry. But if you stuck with me this far, thank you very much. I'll see you all later. And remember, 2015 is around the corner. Expect to see a lot of brand new things from me, alright? So, for all those of you who subscribe to me, keep in touch. You'll never know what's going to come next year. I'll see you then.